How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the off season here in year one of my Reds franchise. Bear with me, off season videos are not my favorite. I never really know how to do them, and I just looked over and saw my dog on the windowsill, and it's really cute. Anyways, let's talk about, first of all, okay, so let's kind of just talk about what we're looking at doing. So we have a wheel set up here for when we get into free agency. And we're looking at positions to work on. So the game thinks we need a new catcher. They think we need a new first baseman and a center fielder and a right fielder. Those are our positions of need, so to speak. They're in the bottom third of the league. And so I put all of those positions on a wheel, and we'll spin the wheel to kind of determine who we go after in free agency. Now, we could also go after people in trade. I'm not sure what I want to do. The problem that I'm running into here is that these Reds players are young, 26 to 28. You're really looking at Tyler Stephenson's stats right now and attributes as well. 26 to 28, mid 70s. Low 70s and 28 for Tyler Stephenson, 73 to be specific. So I see this, and my initial thought is, okay, just ride with these guys. We made it to the NLDS. We exceeded expectations, in my opinion. Let's see what these players can do. But also, we could see upgrades. I mean, I love Tyler Stephenson. I've been a fan of him since, he came up around 2020. He got his first real major league experience in 2021. I loved watching him in 2022. I'm sorry, not 2022, 2021 and 2023. That's when he played the most, right? I like what he has to offer. He's just older, and I don't think he's really going to get to that A potential unless he pops off. And in this game, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I can see that. We don't have anybody else catching wise where there's like a prospect or anything, so we might focus on scouting. First base is another one. Christian Encarnacion Strand, 25 years old, A potential. He went up, I think it's somewhere between 5 to 8 overall points just this season. Hits for power. He's had a big increase in power versus lefty. So I like giving Encarnacion Strand a shot at playing every day. So I wouldn't be upset if we don't have to go after a first baseman. Second base and short, of course, are secure there with Ellie and Matt McLean. Third base, we have Sal Stewart there. We have Jaime Candelario and Jose Caballero, who I will probably put at third. Him and Candelario both impressed me. I didn't mind playing either of them. There's also Jonathan India. We could put him at third. And again, that's the issue that I'm really seeing with this team. All these guys could theoretically play every day in a lineup. And I feel like if I'm going to get the best out of them, or if they're going to get the best out of these players, they have to play every day. Somebody like, TJ Friedel's obviously going to play. Spencer Steer, where can I put him? 57 fielding in left field is not terrible for a left fielder, but TJ Friedel's better. Okay, Stuart Fairchild has good fielding. I need outfield fielding, and Will Benson is abysmal out there and right. So I'm finding myself, as I sit here and decide what to do this offseason, I put India on the trade block, but I could trade anybody, really. The only players I'm not going to trade are Encarnacion, India, McLean, Friedel, De La Cruz, and Spencer Steer. And we're just kind of going through qualifying offers and stuff. This is just background for me kind of talking about my off-season plans here. But there's just all these players are young and they need to play every day, and we just don't have the room. I am perfectly okay with somebody like Will Benson being a platoon hitter. He was last year. He doesn't have the stats, the attributes against lefties. Someone like Jake Fraley doesn't have these attributes against lefties. But the reason I'm not so keen on dumping Jake Fraley right away is because I really enjoyed playing with him last year until he got hurt. So I want to see what I've got with him, which is why I want to keep him around. Jack Flaherty I'm looking to keep around. I like our rotation as is. Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Andrew Abbott, Jack Flaherty, and Graham Ashcraft with Brandon Williamson out there in long relief. I like that. I like the idea of bringing back Lucas Sims. I like, for the most part, our rotation and our bullpen. Could we get guys with more pitching clutch? Maybe. We'll see what free agency has to offer us. For as far as bullpen arms go, I'm looking at pitching clutch. When I look at starting pitchers, I'm looking at per nines. Okay. Buck Farmer would be great to kind of have as somebody who comes up when there's an injury or we have a long stretch of games or someone gets lit up. He didn't pitch a lot this year, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Raimel Tapia, thanks for what you did for us this year, but see ya later. Brent Suter, out of here. Wilson, out of here. Malley, out of here. Because, we don't need these kind of guys. Now, looking here, this doesn't matter, but just looking, and let me tell you how I and probably everyone else determines coaching strategy. We need a manager, we need a first base coach, or not a first base coach, a hitting coach. I'm looking for people who have, of course, all positives in every category. We don't need no minuses. We're not trying to put ourselves at a disadvantage. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. We don't want to rebrand. So you guys kind of know what my plan is, okay? Gotta find us a manager because the guy we were looking at was not interested. So we have our wheel. We know what we have to go for. We have some outfielders in our pipeline. You'll see our draft picks. They're a little raw, talent-wise, and they need to develop defensively. And that's really what I'm going for. I'm looking for someone, if I go for an outfielder this season, I'm looking for somebody who can play defense. We got guys who can hit. We got guys who can come off the bench and platoon. We don't have someone who can play center field. Fairchild would be fine, but not for an everyday batter, everyday player. Will Benson is atrocious out in center field. We don't need him. We got to get through arbitration and all that kind of stuff before we can look at free agents. But before we do that, let's spin the wheel and see who we're going to go for first. Okay, I recorded this on my phone, so please forgive the, portrait mode here. But we're going to go after a catcher first. Okay, so we gotta go after a catcher. Which is kind of a bummer considering, as we all know, Juan Soto is a free agent. If he had gotten right field, I would have gone after him. I went after him in my Mariners franchise. So Alexis Diaz it's funny because none of these guys are expecting kind of the role that I want to put them in. So Alexis Diaz, I'll keep you in the bullpen. I'll buy him out for a few years. Same with Antoine or Antoine. I don't know how you say his name. But I'm not necessarily trying to get some of these guys on one-year deals. But as far as arbitration goes, we'll offer some guys arbitration. We'll offer some guys deals. We'll renew some people's contracts. We won't renew others. Jake Fraley, I'm offering arbitration because he was injured for most of the year. Graham Ashcraft, Sam Mole, we'll offer them arbitration. Just come back on 1 year, see how you do. Graham Ashcraft is probably a solid number 5 hitter. Stevenson will offer arbitration, so he comes back for a year, and then we'll just kind of reevaluate. And that's my thinking with arbitration. Let's look real quick at our draft picks from last year. Of course, we have the ones that we have signed. So as you guys know, we of course extended Matt McClain and Nick Lodolo, but Rico Oliva is our second base first overall pick, 73 overall. He could play today, but need to work on that fielding, really. So he's going to probably do well in AAA. Steve Pearce, the starting pitcher, 70 overall, 18 years old. I would love to see how he develops. Pitching clutch is very low. As I was saying earlier, we have those two outfield prospects there at the bottom who could turn into something, but obviously they are years and years away. They are a lot of project. That second baseman, Will Ramirez, has lots of contact, which is good. We have McDaniel, I'm sorry. And here we go, Ken Moyer, the right fielder. switch hitter, which I love, and Jeff Lintner. But again, these boys can't field. Lintner is a liability out there, so we will need to kind of see what we can do there. So I'm gonna skip through all this. I'll cut all this out. This is just contract extensions, contract renewals, things like that. I didn't know this was a thing that you could just renew contracts right here. Usually you have to like wait or offer them a renewal deal, but it's nice that they streamline this process. Good job, San Diego. Let's skip ahead though to free agents. Okay, so of course the big free agents are Juan Soto, Tanner Scott, and Pete Alonso. Your top three with Montgomery there, but we have to look at catcher. So looking here at catching, already Danny Jansen is the best available player out there. He's got a lot of pop, especially against lefties. Gary Sanchez is available, but I don't really want Sanchez. And Francisco Mejia. These are the two guys that I am going to be looking at, kind of debating between. Jansen is asking for $11.4 million over 5 years to play every day. He is 29, which, that's not terrible. Mejia is 29 as well, so the age isn't really that big of a deal. Jansen had a great year last year. Well, a decent year at least. 252. Had a good year as far as OPS goes at 801. So his past 2 years, his peak was, 2023. He had his best season then, or 2022. 2023 and 2024 have been kind of down years for him. But he does bring some pop, which we need. We don't really have a lot of. Another righty to our lineup. Our lineup is already right-handed heavy. Francisco Mejia is another guy. He had a good year. He's progressing, and he's a switch hitter. I have had Francisco Mejia in seasons past, and I'm really trying to branch out. There's some guys that I always go to, Francisco Mejia being one of them when it comes to catching. But I'm going to branch out. We're going to offer Danny Jansen a deal. Another thing I want to look at is relief pitching. More so as a depth thing. And a guy that catches my eye is Cade Ferguson. Now, as far as, I say depth, he's 28 years old, a good lefty with good pitching clutch. I have not heard of this guy before, honestly. But he is asking for $4.5 million a year, but he's 28. I like it. I like young relief pitchers. I know relief pitchers, you can go with anybody. It doesn't really matter, but he's got great pitching clutch. He's a lefty. We need another lefty out of the bullpen. There's not really anybody else that suits me, or that catches my eye, so to speak. But our big issue right now is catcher. I'm just trying to prepare for getting some bullpen depth because, I didn't sign a bunch of relief pitchers. I didn't bring a bunch of minor leaguers back because they were asking for 500, 600, 700K over 5 years, and that's just nah. But I do want to try to bring Chafin back. I wouldn't mind bringing in Matt Strom, but he is 33, asking for a good bit, and I don't think we need that much bullpen help. I think this is something to worry about if we don't get the guys that we are trying to bring back, like Chafin and Lucas Sims. But so Danny Jansen is our initial target. I was very tempted to go after Tanner Scott, but I decided not to because I don't again, it wouldn't be bad, but he is the second best free agent available, but I don't think we need him. I'm fine with Alexis Diaz, Antoine, and Lucas Sims kind of helping us out 7, 8, 9. All right. So Phil Maiton's another one to look at here. He's got great clutch, looking for about $4 million a year. So we'll give him about $4 million or $3.9 million for 2 years. He's 32. I like his high pitching clutch. I think it's let's see, does it show it over there? Yeah, it's 91. I like that a lot. He also is a guy I wouldn't mind bringing in. So we'll offer Maiton a deal. Try to bring him to Cincinnati instead of New York. Looking at starting pitchers, just seeing what's out there. Nothing too crazy. So we're really hoping to bring back, bring in Danny Jansen. Just seeing, what utility guys are out there. Garrett Hampson is someone I'm interested in. He can play everywhere, and he's got good fielding. Again, what separates Hampson from India and, other players like that on our team is that Hampson has good fielding. You sacrifice a little bit of the bat for his fielding. He is asking a lot, though, so Gio Urshela is another one that I'm like, maybe. But I do like that Hampson can play everywhere besides catcher. So Garrett Hampson is another one that we're going to go after. Jace Peterson is one that I find interesting. He can play everywhere too, and he's a lefty, which I don't hate, but I feel like $4.4 million for a 34-year-old in Jace Peterson is a little too much to ask. Don't really want to bring back Adam Frazier, and there's not really much out here. So we will try to bring in Garrett Hampson. He's 30. He's asking for $4 million, so $400,000 less than Jace Peterson, and we'll just kind of see what goes on. Okay, fast forwarding a little bit here, checking in on our boys here who we're going after. Danny Jansen is three-way with the Royals, Blue Jays, and us. And nothing else really going on as we wait for Danny Jansen to sign. Checking in on it again. Garrett Hampson is also holding out. And 40-man rosters have to be set. Not too worried about that. But hey, let's check on our free agents. And our catching went up, so that means, first of all, we're waiting on Garrett Hampson to sign. But we got our big man, Danny Jansen, behind the plate for 5 years. That power is going to help. You know, I think this is an upgrade. I love Tyler Stevenson, but you know, it is what it is. So Juan Soto's still out there, so let's spin the wheel to see what we get next as far as who we target in the offseason. Our chances at getting a right fielder are increased ever so slightly. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? What are we going to get? Center field. So not right field. No Juan Soto for us, but center field. Honestly, I'm just glad it wasn't first base. I don't want to give up on Strand, and I don't want to overpay for an old, slow man who can maybe hit home runs. So we got center field, and there ain't much out there. Michael Taylor, Adam Duvall, Kevin Kiermaier, who would be an upgrade defensively, but Harrison Bader as well. But the first person that caught my eye was none other than Jason Hayward, 73 overall. Older, but decent fielding. Not spectacular, but an upgrade over Will Benson or Stuart Fairchild. And a lefty to kind of mix things up. He had a great year. He's having a little bit of a career resurgence here. 288 average, 350 on base, and a 503 slugging with, it looks like, I guess, the Dodgers and the Astros. I don't know who Hayward played for last year, but his card says Astros. Anyways, 35 years old, 1 year deal, kind of like a 1 year, hey, you know, we'll pay you whatever, $4.789 million. Give him about $5 million to platoon. We'll see if that works. It's an upgrade defensively, not much more than that. He might have something still left in him, but, you know, nothing really out there for center field, and I didn't really want to sign a righty with already such a righty-heavy lineup. Kevin Kiermaier wouldn't be bad, though. So anyways, let's see if we can land Jason Hayward and if Juan Soto lands on a team or not. Moving right along to January, not much else really going on. Pete Alonso signing with the Nationals for 5 years. Juan Soto is going to get his deal with the Pirates for 7 years, $164 million. Tanner Scott, I think I may have cut it out, but Tanner Scott got a 9-year deal with somebody. I just can't remember who it was, but 9 years. Max Fried goes to the Angels. So a pretty quiet offseason, not a lot of trades, not much going on. Arbitration is set. So all in all, we got the guys that we needed to go after. No contracts to renew, just got to throw in those fillers, and then we'll show a couple spring training at-bats. We got Garrett Hampson, we got Jason Hayward. Our team is now complete, but we couldn't find a spot for India to trade him to. Not much on the trade block. India, Fraley, Benson, all these like bench players, I would say, are kind of on the chopping block, so to speak. Caballero even, honestly. We'll just see. So I didn't get to do really the trades or move some of the players that I wanted to, so some guys will have to start in AAA. But unfortunately, you know, that is how it goes, and you never know what can happen in the season. I mean, Hayward could underperform and get cut. You don't know. So All in all, though, I'd say a pretty successful offseason. A lot of teams got better. The Pirates got better as they landed Juan Soto. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see what happens. So let's kind of sim past all this stuff and get to spring training. Alright, we're going to spend the last 10 minutes of the video just looking at 2 spring training games, the first 2 of the year. We're going to be on the road playing the Brewers and the Guardians. And we're going to see spring debuts for Jason Hayward and Danny Jansen. Our 2 big, well, and I guess I could have done Garrett Hampson too, but I kind of forgot. But our 2 of 3 big off-season acquisitions. And already a couple of some base hits here for us. Jason Hayward getting some action here out in center field. There he is. The veteran, the former Brave. Played for 3 out of the 5 teams in the NL Central now. Just needs to sign and spend 2 years with the Brewers and the Pirates. But anyways, wasn't even anything interesting. And I'm going to just be real with you guys. This has nothing to do with content per se. This is just more like, hey, let's get these guys out there. I wasn't going to player lock every spring training game. I was just kind of here. It didn't go very well. Neither game did. So we're not here to really watch the game. As it was just 2 random games. Lots of strikeouts, let me just be real. But that's a nice hard hit ball from Hayward. Just got to adjust his timing. And that's what you do in the first of spring training. That's what it's all about, right? Timing adjustment. So I don't expect monster hits or anything from these 2 players to start the spring, and just trying to get a good eye on the ball. Sometimes that means you swing at pitches like that, but I will blame the shadows. So let me know, if I do player lock games in the future for the series, do you guys like seeing the kind of simulation go by, or do you just like transitioning from at bat to at bat? What do you guys prefer? So it's 2-0 Cincinnati. Hayward struck out, of course, his first time up, and there's these horrible shadows there, which probably doesn't help a batter get back into shape here. We need nice noon, clear sky days, not this like mid-afternoon Arizona shadows crap.
No ball, 2 strikes.
But Hayward is going to be your everyday center fielder to start the year. It'll be performance-based, and if he does bad, then Will Benson will get called up and Fairchild will move over to center. But I believe I'm going to have it set to be Steer and Fairchild platooning in left. Hayward and Fairchild. Fairchild is just going to be our 4th outfielder. But Steer in left, Hayward in center, Friedel in right. Fairchild filling in the gaps when needed. And then our infield is looking like Candelario at 3rd, De La Cruz and McLean up the middle, Encarnacion, Strand at 1st with Caballero kind of platooning and plugging in holes or whatnot depending on matchups. And of course, we do need a DH, so I mean it could always be Caballero. I like the speed. We'll see though. Basically, anybody can play DH on any given night. Danny Jansen behind the plate, of course. And our rotation and bullpen have not changed. I think the only acquisition that we had that I didn't even realize I had made, I'm pretty sure the CPU made it, was Andrew Heaney was brought on. So that's 2 long relief options in Brandon Williamson and Andrew Heaney. But yeah, all in all, I like this team. I feel like we're better. India and Benson will start in AAA. If we have an injury, because we have Fraley also, but if we have an injury or anything, or someone's underperforming, we'll have probably a rotating carousel of bench players is what I'm imagining will be the case. Hayward's 4th at-bat here in the 9th. 3 strikeouts. Ugh. I know it's not the most thrilling, but hey, he hits it on the ground this time. Or in the air, maybe. I wasn't looking. That was the one time I had to check my phone to check on something. So, all in all, a game to forget, but it's just the 1st of spring. It does not matter. So let's take a look at how Danny Jansen does in his game. Alright, facing the Guardians, and this is a very spring training lineup. Top prospect, Phil something. I didn't get even a chance to look. But they have a top prospect in their lineup, Jose Ramirez, of course, there. And Gavin Williams on the mound. But we're here to see Danny Jansen make not his Reds debut. You know, this is his second spring game, but his on-screen debut. All right.
That's ball 4.
A walk for Caballero, and here is Danny Jansen. Not facing a lefty, so we're not going to see that 99 power versus lefty in this video. 252 there in his first game. Facing a righty Williams with Caballero out there at first base. Fastball outside for a strike. Hoping to get more than 93 Ks out of it. We'll see. This is our big free agent signing of the offseason in year 1. According to the wheel, and he swings and misses very late on an inside fastball. Also, give me a little bit of slack here. Cut me a little bit of slack. I have not touched this game in about a month. College football, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, they have all taken up my free time. Planning a wedding, and getting married, and all that kind of stuff. I've been, I've been busy. So I haven't really been able to touch MLB The Show. And I was kind of dreading doing the off-season video anyways, because I don't like doing off-season videos. So this is a little later than I anticipated, and that's also probably why my timing is partially off. As Jansen is putting down a 1-2. 1-0 Cincinnati here with 2 outs in the third.
1 ball.
Hey, we laid off a trash pitch for a ball. Let me know if you guys are liking the series, enjoying the series. Leave some feedback in those comments.
Ball.
Nice take, good eye. Williams can't believe that that's a strike, or a ball, neither can I. 2-2. And the slider gets a good pitch to end the third. So nothing but strikeouts so far for Jansen. Similar to Hayward's spring debut. Solo home run for Jose Ramirez. What's new? Hayward there with a base hit, but nothing coming from it. A walk, another walk for Caballero, and here we go. Jansen with a runner on. Yet again, struck out his first time up with a runner on. 2 strikeouts on the day. Game is all squared up at 1 in the 6th. Hard hit ball to second. On to short for 1, and that's a 4-6-3 double play. But that was a nice hard hit ball. I can't complain too much about that. We move right on along. Jimenez hits a solo home run, and it's 2-1 Cleveland. Wow, that's a good inning for the pitcher there. All right, 2 on, 2 out in the 8th.
Let's go.
Danny Jansen.
I'm also recovering from a cold, so that's fun. It's been a crazy month for me. Hanging slider that Jansen gets a piece of, and this is versus Nick Sandlin on the mound. Big cut and a miss. That slider finds the bottom of the zone. 0-2.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Sorry about that. If you heard that, my mic picked it up. Jeremy, my little rascal of a cat, wants to play and jumped on my keyboard. I don't want to play Jeremy. He's a rascal, but we love him. 2-2. Got him. Jansen can't believe it. Runners are stranded. And I believe that's going to be it for Danny Jansen and the gameplay portion of this episode. So we'll have opening day up next here in the Reds franchise. We'll start year 2. We'll be out in Miami, and we'll get to see these new guys in action. So I hope you guys liked what you saw. Make sure to come back for the opening day of year 2, and I'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all's day. Take care.